Hello everyone, I am Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, we're going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. Last time, I made it all the way through the main side bangs there. Looking at it this morning, and there's a couple things I want to fix on them. As always, the me of today is always a bit pickier than the me of yesterday. So I just noticed a couple of things, and I wanted to fix them a little bit. I thought this area was getting a little bit narrow, so I figured I'd floof it all out like that. And I think that'll better match with how it looks there. Yeah. That's a little bit better, and then the location of this shadow actually is not quite right. So I want to move him down a little bit too, and I think it'll probably make the shape of the line on the white part right near it a little bit better as well. So now I'm just straightening things out over here. And that should hopefully fix that angle on that dark area there. Yeah, that's a bit better. And then on the other side, I noticed some shifting here. I'm still trying to work out exactly what it is that I'm seeing there. Looks like a bit of sliding and other shenanigans. Tends to be how it goes, right? Just all the shenanigans. So I'm gonna stare at this for a second here. See if I can make some sense of it. Because truthfully, like I said, I'm not sure what's going on with right here. I just noticed that the shape on it was a little bit off. Let me actually zoom out and try to get a good look at that shape there. Yeah, it's still just being a little bit tricky and elusive. Because I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at. So I guess this is just where I try things and hope for the best. Because I know something's wrong. And like I can somewhat see what it is now. Yeah, right there. Right there. So I must have tucked that in a little bit too much there. Do I just need to push these out a little bit here? This is the kind of things that I think about when I'm just not quite sure what's happening. Okay, I see a little bit of like a lump right up there. All these things that should not exist in hair. Do not want lumpy hair. That would just be very unfortunate. Alright, while I try to make sense of what's going on here, figured I'd talk more about Inktober because I did it. I drew a thing yesterday. Man, I was surprised I was able to pull it off because I don't have very long to draw in the morning, so that I have the drawing posted on my community page as well as on my various social media platforms. So you can view it on whichever platform you like to view art on. Pick your favorite. I have all my links up on my channel, so anyway, I was kind of surprised that I was able to do it. Because I am fairly slow at drawing, but more than that, it's like I'd say in terms of quality, if I had spent more time on it, I probably could have made it better. But I thought it came out pretty well for having only spent an hour on it. And so much so that I'd actually go as far as to say is that it's actually better than the quality I was producing when I started getting serious about art a couple of years ago. And was actually that when I started posting something every week. I'd say that little thing that I was able to put together in an hour is better than what I was doing back then, even when I did spend more time on it. So that was honestly pretty cool to see. One of those days that's actually make me realize, hey, I'm actually getting pretty good. It can be kind of hard to believe until you really prove it to yourself. So that felt pretty nice. Here's to another 30 days of that. Prompt for day 2 was discover, if I remember correctly, and I have ideas. It's going to involve birds. Haven't drawn very many birds, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. I only have an hour, so what's the worst that can happen? Normally for a challenge like this is probably where I should just draw a bunch of stuff that's very familiar to me, but you know what? Don't worry about it. I got an idea in my head, and I'm gonna roll with it. Draw a bird. Probably lots of birds. With colors and an otherwise black and white picture, and so that means they're going to be like the most noticeable thing on there. We'll see if I regret my life choices, but I think I'll be fine. I've drawn a few birds, they're not that hard. I'll just make sure to pull up a quick reference while I eat. This way I can stare at a picture for a little while before I get into drawing. I'm not like explicitly timing myself on this or anything, so I don't consider this cheating at all. This is a challenge brought forth by my current circumstances. I'd have no problem spending more time on it if I had the time. I just don't. So I'm doing what I can. And that's just how it goes sometimes. Ended up seeing a few more smaller problems here and there, so I'm visiting those as well. It's like it's side bang. It's pretty close to the head. It's not quite as important as the areas up here that I was really particular about, but it's important enough that I want to give it a fair amount of attention. It's not like the very back of her head where I can kind of ignore half of what's going on and be fine. This is way up in front. Just front and slightly to the side. Makes it a little less important than the stuff that's front and center, but still important nonetheless. I went through a few days, or maybe days is overstating it, but a little while where my brain was just getting so tired while I was trying to watch my kids that I couldn't properly read comics. It was a problem. And in that time, I just was like, let's see if I can find a fairly simple, idle or incremental game that I can just poke at for a while. And so I picked up Kitten's game, and maybe it was the wrong one to pick up when I was feeling kind of brain dead, but I saw it recommended twice, and I was like, okay, we'll try it. Also, I like cats. Kittens are very cute. So far, it's been pretty cool. I'm still pretty early on, haven't gotten to the automation phase that I've heard people mention, but I think I'm getting close. Probably gonna build my first Steamworks today, and so far it's been a pretty interesting little game. For anybody curious, it's a game you can play for free in your browser, or it has an app you can download if that's more your speed. Oh yeah, if you just search for Kittens Incremental Game, you should be able to find it pretty quickly. Actually, I wonder if YouTube will let me post a link in the chat. Let's see. Sometimes it barks. I can. So there you go, that's Kitten's Game for anybody that wants to try it. So far I've been having a pretty good time with it. I like incremental games like this. I wouldn't say I'm as super into them as like my husband is. He's the type that breaks out the spreadsheets for these. Whereas I'm kind of the type that just kind of feels my way through. And I've been having a pretty good time. So it's free and pretty easy to get into overall, I'd say, so if you just need something quick to do and just want to click a button repeatedly for a little bit, give it a try. Let me know what you think. I always like to support these independent developers trying to make interesting things. This is also the type of game that I'd consider playing on stream, because as far as I can tell, it's a single developer doing his best and making something pretty cool overall. With the unfortunate part being that because I've gotten started, it wouldn't necessarily be, you know, blind beginning to end. And I think that would be a little bit unfortunate. That'd be okay. I just messed something up with this shadow highlight area. I'm not quite sure what I did, but I don't like it, so I'm trying to fix it. Let's see if the mesh understands what I did wrong. Okay. I'm just gonna do some very, very intense staring for a little bit while I try to make sense of what's going on here. I didn't realize that I drew these vertices a little bit crooked there. I thought I was pretty particular on how I placed them, but that would explain why it's a little bit off. That would explain it indeed. Don't worry about it, past self. I figured it out. You did your best. Okay, there we go. That's a bit better. Still got a little bit of weirdness right over there, so I'm gonna go take a look at the mesh in that area now. See if I can make that a little bit better. Let's see, where exactly is the problem here? I think it's this here. Just gonna spend some time straightening all this out here. Something like that. I'm just gonna carefully watch how those vertices are moving around here. But so far so good. Let's take a look at the art and see if I am satisfied with how things are moving around now. No, still got a wrinkle right here. I want to work out that wrinkle. I don't think it looks good. I don't care if it's minor and small. I don't think it looks good, so I want to fix it. So that's just how I roll. Okay. Oh, I actually brought it too low. Okay. So I can bring it a little bit higher and a little bit more out. Something like that. Yeah, that's a little bit better there. Just straighten some of these over here just so they stop moving out of the corner of my eye and I can better focus on where I think some of these problem vertices might be. It's weird because the wrinkle is on this side, but for whatever reason I keep seeing vertices moving on that side. So I wonder what's causing that little wrinkle. Is it just wrinkly here? Is that just what it looks like? No? I guess I fixed it and I just didn't realize it. Okay. Whatever it is, I don't see it anymore, so I guess it's fine. I'll take it. And my problems just randomly disappearing for me is, not something I'm about to complain about. Alright, still don't like down here, though. So let's let the mesh help me out again down here. Though I remember looking at the mesh here and not seeing that much out of place. But hopefully the mesh can at least give me some insight. This way I can work out those last few problems. And we can move on to other hair. Oh gosh, she has so much hair. So much hair. I'm still looking forward to doing the next Inktober drawing after stream today. It's been pretty fun, actually, posting things around. I've been taking it easy on drawing lately because I've been tired, and also because I've been doing many experiments to learn new things. And that process is always incredibly slow. So it means I don't actually post very much art. But it was kind of fun posting something that I worked on the same day I started and finished it. So that was pretty wild. I never really do that just because I work so slowly. Like even on ones where I'm not doing a bunch of science to learn new things, taking a week was actually pretty stressful. And trying to get things done in what I felt like was a fairly short amount of time. So I might do some speed drawings occasionally as well. I think it'd be nice to get really, really good at this style and figure out how to use it for other things too, because if I can draw something that fast, it kind of gives me hopes of maybe I actually could draw a comic if I got good. Like the image that I drew yesterday, I don't think would be super great for comics. At least not for webcomics. I'd want to use more colors. And use colors on my character designs. I don't think I'd want to leave them completely black and white. But still, it's like when I think about it, of just like a lot of published Japanese comics, you know, manga, and the like, do tend to be just black and white because printing in color is expensive. That was like one of the advantages of working on the web, of you didn't have those kinds of limitations. So you could pretty freely use color. So I don't know. I have options. Options are scary. It's like they can be nice, but it means that I kind of have to work through them all in my head. Take some time to put it together. It's not just art that I'm slow at. I tend to like to take my time making decisions like this. Try a few things and see what happens. And I suppose it's just as well. I haven't finished writing the story in my head yet. I've worked out a few things. There's a couple of ideas turning around in my head. One of them is starting to take the lead. Maybe. I say maybe because I'm not really sure. But this is the kind of thing that's been floating around in my head for a while. It's been fun to think about. It's like even if I don't actually write it and I end up doing something else instead, that'll be okay. My brain's been having a good time working through it all. I think I'd like to start working on something like this. Either that or a game. I do have some ideas for, like, platforming mechanics that I think would be fun for a Metroidvania. So that's been on my list of things I've looked at. I poke around in Godot sometimes. I haven't lately. But enough that I can make really basic stuff in it. And I mean, I'm familiar with way more complicated code than I ever used in Godot. Mostly because I just haven't gotten very far in making a proper game in it yet. It's certainly capable of very complex things, I just haven't. Alright, I think I'm starting to finally work my way through where some of these problems were. Just the way it was curling was not quite right. And I was having trouble identifying why. But I think it's doing much better now. Am I satisfied? I don't know. Something right here still seems a little bit wrong. Let me stare at this super intensely real quick. Gonna give it a super strong stare. As strong as my eyes can muster. The kind of thing that would intimidate any cat trying to get into a staring contest with you. Okay, I think this is fine. Alright, where do I want to go next? I think it is time for the connecting hair. And I think before I do the connecting hair, I think I actually want to get this strand a little bit too. Just because, I don't know, the way it's moving looks very stretchy and it's distracting. Let me see, this tip. Yeah, the whole tip needs to go up. Okay, so that means I can just grab a big brush and like grab it here and just pull upward. Something like that. Okay, the tip got a little bit compressed, but otherwise I think it looks pretty good there. Let's just pull that down just a little bit. Just a tiny bit there. Yeah. Okay, and now I can do some more specific movement a little bit further up here. Still gonna use the brush. Just because there's still a lot of movement happening here. Just kind of need to move these things around here. We'll see if I regret my brush usage, but I honestly tend to not, so it's fine. Sometimes a little bit of pain comes, but it's okay. I think it saves me time in the long run. Okay. Now I'm just gonna let this curve a little bit more. Because it got a little bit flat in the move upward. We're just gonna curl all this around. Smooth everything out. Because right now it's a little bit crunchy. A little bit doesn't know what's going on. Doesn't know which direction it wants to go. A little bit of pixelation and other things that are not very fun. Alright, that's the basics, I suppose. Now, time to actually make it look right. Because some of that is still snaking around pretty hard. But you know, it's strange. The connecting hair here doesn't actually look that bad. So with any luck, I won't have to spend too much time on it once I finish this side strand that I'm working on here. We'll see how kind it is to me. The connecting hair tends to be one of the harder spots for me to work on. It's like I consider the side bangs some of the most time-consuming. Just because I'm very particular on getting them to look a certain way. But in terms of raw difficulty, the connecting hair is probably the hardest. Just lots of little shenanigan areas there, and lots of little things to pay attention to. Just hasn't sent me through hell yet. But I still remember in the early head turns, especially the right head turn, of just poking at that for days and not necessarily making any progress. That was rough. It seems like with up and down, there's less shenanigans I have to pull. So it just all looks a little bit better. And it's all a little bit easier on me. I always appreciate that. Life is already pretty hard. I don't like to make it any harder than I have to. Alright, there we go. Solved one problem. I just gotta work through all the rest. It's like, man, whenever I first approach a lot of these things in the hair, it all feels so overwhelming. And I just go through the issues I see and the things I want to change one by one. I think it's true of life, too. Just... do you see these obstacles as reasons to stop, or problems to be solved? Because one by one, I eliminate them. And one by one, they fall before me. Okay, so I think... let me see, is that too much curve there? It's like, this is the upward turn, so I have lots of excuses to make things really round. Well, that doesn't mean I should, you know? Okay, no, I think that looks pretty good. I think the only thing I don't like is actually not even on that layer. I just want to adjust the shadow area right through here. Oh, I see. It's this strand peeking through. Okay. Well, it can't have that. We will figure out how to deal with that later. But for now, we're just gonna tuck it underneath and ignore our problems. That sounds like a good idea. Ignore those problems. They will be a problem for future me. Future me can handle it. Future me is pretty smart. Future me always knows what to do, you know? Alright, so let's fix up that stuff that I did there that was not actually what I thought it was. There we go. Alright. Getting somewhere. Still feel like some things are stretching out, but I'm getting somewhere. Now I just want to look at this light area. I want to make sure that I like it as it is there. Not quite sure how to feel about it yet. So let's see here. Actually, I just got a notice from YouTube here. Something is weird in my settings, so let me take a look here. Let's see, I don't actually know what the number, I can't remember what the number it gave me was, so I think I'll just, okay. See if that's a bit better there. Alright, looks like it's all fine. Okay. So nothing appears to be exploding. YouTube just complained about something when I went to go check. And now it seems to be okay. Let me know if anything weird is going on your end. And I will respond accordingly. Let's see, don't see any dropped frames here. Okay, so we're probably good. I won't worry about it. If you guys notice anything strange in the VOD or anything, let me know in the comments, and I will look into fixing things. As far as I can tell, it wasn't a notification that something was exploding, just that something wasn't as good as it could be, but it kind of disappeared before I could read it in great detail. Alright, so go back to art then. And I will take some time to look up more information on what I can remember of the message I saw after stream. But I think for the rest of today, let's just see if we can get the strand looking good. See how far I can get on it. Going through the bangs ended up taking a little bit of time there, but that's okay. It's really important that I get the side bangs looking as good as possible. Whereas this strand is not quite as important. Don't get me wrong, it's important. I want to spend time on it. I want to make sure that it's happy. Make sure that it's satisfied with everything. But I'm not gonna lie either. It's just not quite as important as the side bangs. It's just not. But that's okay. Not everything has to be as important as the things that go front and center. That is just an unfair expectation. Alright, and yeah, now I've reached another point where I think I have to fix this area before I can make any more progress on that strand. I kind of figured that I was going to have to do these two areas together. They're just so intertwined. Just so connected to each other. Ah, I see. That's what happened. Okay. Well, that's okay. We can afford to flute this out a little bit more, I think. I was just noticing that I thought I tucked in this highlight a little bit. And that was probably what was causing some of the weird problems that I was seeing now. But that's okay. I don't actually think it looks bad expanded like that, so it's all gonna work out and be totally fine. It's all fine. just fine. And for once when I say that, my house isn't even on fire. Heck yeah. I actually do think everything is fine. It's got a little bit of sliding through here that I don't like. Actually surprised that I didn't fix some of this when I was working more on the roots. But I guess it is pretty easy to miss. Especially since I covered up some other things at some point and all that good stuff. And now with the shape of this changed, some of the areas that were probably covered up are a little bit more prominent now. So yeah, it makes sense. Let's just drag some of these back up here. It's like I know why some of these were being pushed down. But I think it's sliding a little bit too much, so I'm going to make the effect just a little bit less noticeable. I think overall this is looking really good, though. I just see the way parts of this are moving, and it's like, yes, my past self did a great job. I appreciate you, past self. Got a cough coming. One moment. There we go. Just had a tickle in my throat. Had to get it on out. I think it's funny that even your insides can get itchy sometimes, and you still feel compelled to scratch them. In a way. Why is are so weird? Why does your throat get itchy? You can't touch your throat. That's just silly. This is one area where I'm kind of with my husband of just like, man, when are we going to get the option to have machine bodies instead? One with proper diagnostics when they can tell you that something is going wrong. So much easier than having to go to the doctor. Just print it. And then when you go to the doctor, you can say, yes, my diagnostics say this. Although I say that, but you know, as someone that works with computers a lot and has done tech support for people, it's like, sometimes the computer diagnostics can be a bit off too. Maybe this is just a grass is greener situation. Still, the idea of being a brain in a jar does not scare me. Sounds pretty appealing overall. Especially if I could stop doing things like sleeping. It'd be so wonderful to be able to have another 8 hours in the day. Having to waste a third of my life just flopping over, not doing anything. It's terrible, man. Hate it. Alright, making pretty good progress here, though. Overall, I think things are looking much better. Still... So just gotta put all that together. Let's see here. Where exactly is stretch happening? Help me, Mesh. Show me what's wrong. Okay, so there's a stretch there. That was not the stretch I was expecting, though. Actually, I didn't realize that those vertices were so far apart. Good to know. Okay, this one needs to get closer. The area I was seeing the stretch is much higher. Okay, these come down. This comes down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't get excited on me, hand. Just a little bit. Okay. And this comes down a bit. Alright, did that get rid of the stretch that I was seeing? I think it did, actually. Okay, that's good. It was more minor than I thought it was. Excellent. I was very concerned because it felt like it was just quite large. Okay. Yeah, things are looking pretty good up top there, so now I'm just gonna fix up the tip, and I think that will be this strand. And through all this, I actually fixed a lot of issues with the connecting hair, too. So that's very nice. Very nice indeed. That's good, because I am getting hungry. This means I will not just be staring at the strand being like, okay, I'm hungry, but I also really, really want to finish this. It'll just be done, and I can go get food. Still want to go for probably another 15 minutes or so. Just to get my full hour working on this. I take that very, very seriously. If I'm not, like, dying on the floor, I'm probably gonna try to do the full hour. And I am very much not dying on the floor. I'm actually feeling pretty okay today. Little tired still. That's okay. That's why I'm going to the doctor on Friday. It was a little bit sad that they, took so long, couldn't get me in sooner, but, you know, it happens. Other people have to see the doctor, too. And in my area, it's starting to get cold, so I wouldn't be... Oh, and school has also started. Past couple of months. So there's probably other disease floating around because of that. It's kind of inevitable when there's lots of people come into contact with each other. Especially small children who may not be the best at personal hygiene yet. Alright, now let's see here. Kind of feel like the bottom of the strand is curling a bit too much, so I'm gonna straighten them out. There we go. Just wanted to make it curl a little, but it was a little bit too much. And I think I straightened it a bit too much. Hello there, Oyen? Is that how you say your name? How are you doing today? Here we... Yeah, still not curling right. Let's take another look at this little guy at the tip here. I'm doing pretty good today. Feeling pretty good overall, and everything is moving for me, which is also very nice. There were a few mysteries I had to solve at the beginning, but so far so good here. Now I'm just trying to get the curl at the bottom of the strand looking right, because I think I've got the rest. Well, no. Could use a little bit more curl over there, I think. Yeah. I was gonna say, I mostly have everything higher up, looking the way I want, but now that I look at it, I kind of want a little bit more of a nice curl right over here. Just very subtle change, but I think it'll make a big difference. So, what brings you here today? Are you interested in rigging, or something else? I'm just gonna keep trying to, Oh, my avatar. Thank you. I drew and rigged it myself. Had a lot of fun working on the design and figuring out what my, I guess, virtual persona should be like. So naturally, I just went with something very shiny. I do like shiny things. But yeah, what I'm doing here is something very similar to what I had to do with my avatar here. Because the same process, it's just for this one, rather than drawing it all myself, I just cut up some official art from a game that I play, and decided to turn it into a VTuber model as well. Just for fun. I still plan to stick with my current model for the foreseeable future, because I do like the way it looks. At most, I might just re-rig some things. And this character has a ton of hair. So, I'm just very slowly making my way through the head angles, dealing with all the hair. I actually have about half of the hair layers hidden even. Makes it a little bit easier for me to see what I'm doing, but there's just so much hair. Quite. It's honestly quite a lot of fun. I've been drawing for a while before this, and the first time I brought one of the drawings into this program and got it to move, it was really cool. It really just brings the entire image to life. And just seeing a bit of movement in it. But yeah, if you're curious about anything, ask away. I will answer as best I can. And if you're interested in trying it for yourself, the program I'm using has a evaluation version that is unlimited, so you can try it for as long as you want, and is free. So you can always try it out for yourself if you are curious or interested. I also have the art that I'm using for the one that I'm working on right here, available for download, so you can just use the same one. The art in this is pretty complicated though, so it might be easier to go with a simpler model or a simpler bit of art, but it is there. If you are curious and want to try it out for yourself. Let's see, looking around here, but I think it's actually okay. I think I still want to bring this highlight a little bit higher. I don't think it's moving in line with everything else. Just a little bit there. Oh yes, and I'm reminded, while I don't think the free version is available there, the program was recently released on Steam. So you can also get it there if you want. I do not know if the evaluation version is on Steam or not. Understandable. I watch a lot of stuff like that too. I'm happy to contribute to such things. Oops, wrong layer. There we go. And so I will always show my process of doing these things from beginning to end. I do not work on it at all off stream. So the entire process will be up on YouTube for posterity. And once I finish it, I'll probably make a playlist of the entire thing. That is the plan. Also a sped up version. So this way people don't have to, you know, watch the 90 plus hours it took me to get this far. It's fun, but very time consuming. Alright, and I see here that somehow the strand got thick. I stretched things out a little bit, so I'm making it thinner near the bottom again. Yeah, there we go, that's much better. Still think the angle over here is a little bit off, though. So let's go in and fix that. And then once again, I think I have to hide the layer behind it under the rug, because it's kind of peeking. And my future self will deal with all the fallout from that. That is not a job for present self. Yeah, I mean, making models like this is pretty time consuming, but I enjoy it. And I think the results are pretty cool. And just being able to watch things move around, and I liken it to being a digital puppet. So I'm just a puppeteer controlling stuff with my head. I'm looking forward to being able to test this one. But I want to finish all the head angles first. And then I can use that test to kind of figure out which areas I need to clean up a bit. Oh yeah, this is the last one in the cardinal directions here. I've already gotten the other 3. It'll all look better once I am able to turn the rest of the hair back on, but I still need a lot of it off, because otherwise I'll get too distracted by things not moving quite right. It's actually pretty hard to move it all when all the layers are visible. Okay. Yep, now just trying to get the curl in the bottom of this strand right, because I think the rest of the strand is actually looking pretty good now. It is. Indeed. What kind of things do you do? I am curious. I always like to see what other people do as well. Ah, nice. In what way? Computers are a pretty broad subject. Do you do more hardware, software, or... Ah, very nice. I don't know too much about hardware myself. I do a fair amount of programming as well. But, haven't looked too much into the hardware end of things. I do think it's pretty cool, though. Have you, built a computer for yourself? Not yet. Well, good luck whenever you decide to do something like that. Yeah, that's always the rough part. So this is where I have an advantage here, because I have found many things that I can just use for free. Software tends to be a bit easier in that regard. Because, like, the painting program I use is free, this program, I'm using the evaluation version, which is free, and all that good stuff. The hardware I use is not free, but that's about the only thing I've had to spend money on. Well, good luck. I hope you're able to build yourself something that you like. Alright, and meanwhile I think the strand is looking pretty good. I think it... Yep. Money always makes things harder. No problem. I do hope you're able to work it all out. Good luck, friend. Alright. Just working out the last little bit of the tip here. I felt like it wasn't moving upward enough. It's like when I compared how it was moving to the side bang here. It looked like it was staying in relatively the same place, whereas the side bang was moving up quite a lot. And so it looked a little odd. So I moved it up a bit, and now I'm just, fixing some of the vertices that got shifted around in the shuffle. Oh no, this is just a for fun thing. The art here is, official art from a game, so I wouldn't want to use that for any kind of paid project. That'd be a bit strange. I'd be concerned about the legal ramifications. But it is quite a fun project. Tip feels like it's getting shorter. Okay, I think that's a sign that I need to take a small brush here, slide some stuff up. There we go. How long have I been learning? About a year? Maybe a little bit less, somewhere around there. I'm fairly new to it overall, so it makes me work fairly slowly. It's like what I lack in any particular skill or experience, I make up for in raw time and tenacity. Tends to be how I roll with a lot of the things I do. My personal model was like the first full body thing that I rigged seriously. Before then it was just a few heads that I did for practice. Yeah, it's pretty time consuming. I mean, this one's got the full body too, but you don't really see it because I'm so zoomed in on the head for the time being. Because right now I'm working on the head. And the head is the most important spot. I mean, when it comes to models like this, for the most part, you really only see them from, like, maybe here up. So that's the area that I'm focusing most of my energy on. Like, I don't even plan to do much, if any, foot movement, for example. Might do a little just so it doesn't look like she's falling over when there's a little bit of leaning happening, or maybe a little slight twists or something, but probably not that much. We'll see how much I feel like doing once I get that far. But yes, making a full model like this is very much a commitment. I've been at it for a while. As much as I do enjoy working on it, part of me is kind of looking forward to being able to get back into some proper, like, animated illustrations and the like. Those take a bit less time. But I could definitely see myself doing another one of these on stream in the future. We shall see if I get an idea that I want, or a request that sounds fun, or whatever else. Future me can make those decisions. They are not relevant to present me. Okay, there we go. That's better. Alright, that seems mostly right here. Probably about as right as I will be able to get without rigging the stuff on either side. Just want to adjust the curl here a little bit here. It's a little bit too curly. Just a little bit. It's actually this strand is surprisingly straight to me. I always tend to be a little bit surprised when how much of these strands end up being straighter than I think they are. So I'm trying to pay closer attention to the angles that each strand has. It's a mistake that's got me in trouble and has left me flailing many a time on the other turns. Okay, yeah, there we go. That seems pretty good. We'll see if I still like it tomorrow or after I do the bits of hair on either side. Okay. This is where I have to think. What direction does the connecting hair turn in? Which way did I have it go here? Probably had it turn more this way, right? So this one should be more out. More round and circular. Okay, we'll see how much I can do that. So this is probably going to be a bit of a thing, but we'll see how round I can make this area here. Let's pull it down this way. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Do not want to move it too much. Otherwise, everything will just get so confused. Alright, let's see here. This is gonna look weird for a while, but I'll fix it eventually. It'll be fine. The connecting hair always looks really, really weird before I start doing it proper. The hardest part of the model to rig, for this one specifically, the hair definitely, just because there's so much of it. I mean, you can see I have about half of it turned off here. Let me see if I can find a good image of what this character actually looks like if you're not familiar with her. I'll just open up the cutout art in Krita here and go ahead and switch on over. But yeah, so this is what the unrigged model looks like right now, and you can see she has a ton of hair, man. There's so much. So there's just so much, and it's very, very detailed, especially in comparison to like the rest of her face. There's just so much to it. That's why I long accepted when I picked out the art here that I figured that just doing the hair would take longer than the rest of it combined. But for models in general, I don't know. I think it probably varies too much from model to model. Hair is definitely up there, just due to its importance and the, like, sheer amount of it. Anime characters have lots and lots of hair. I can't think of anything else that I've strongly gotten stuck on. I guess on a personal aside, I always tend to have a little bit of trouble figuring out where to place their jaw. But that's something I have issues with just drawing in general. Even when I draw my own pictures that I don't intend to animate at all. The jaw gets me. Oh yeah, saying the hair is the hardest thing to rig is probably pretty safe. Yeah, this is just a bit too strong. I don't think I can get away with moving it quite that much. Yes. So you can see that all of these here are separate layers. And because I was able to separate it like this, you can get small details like when her head is turning up, you see kind of more of these underneath parts here than you do. And I think the effect of cutting is even more strong on like the left and the right head turns. So you can see it like on this left here, that this side bank here covers up much of the hair underneath here. Just covers it up completely. And that's not something I could do if they were all on one layer. That's why they're all separated. And kind of same with over here, just... You can see this side hair here just kind of disappears behind her head entirely. And with the back here, you can see the layers on the top also kind of disappear behind her head entirely. Whereas in the lower one, when she's looking down, it kind of looks like you see more of the top of her head, because I was able to make each of those layers a little bit bigger, and all that kind of stuff, just due to how everything was separated. That's why we have 30 layers of hair. Actually, I don't know how many there are exactly, but around 30 seems right. I have not counted them. So right now I'm just seeing kind of how much I can get away with. Seeing how much I can kind of floof things out here. Make it look like it's wrapping around her head now that it's kind of tilting upward. But I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to be able to get away with without it looking strange while it's moving. Because yeah, it looks really strange right now. I think I'm actually going to go back to kind of before I made the initial big distortion. Okay. So here it doesn't look terrible, but her head looks a little bit concave with the hair going this direction. So I'm gonna try to... I won't change the angles too strongly. Like, it'll still just swoop down like that. But I want to try to make her over here a little bit rounder and see if that achieves the effect I want. Probably a little bit more closely. I can get away with a little bit more than that, I think. This time I'm being a little bit gentler, trying to learn from that past mistake. Trying to do too much at once. I feel like I do that a lot. And it's like I like to try things. I don't always know what to expect, so it's like try it and see if it works out. If it doesn't, there's ways to go back and fix it. It's fine. It's totally fine. That said, I am getting pretty hungry, so this may be a puzzle for future me to figure out tomorrow. Yeah, I should probably go grab some food. And figure out what I want to do with this in the morning. So I think this is where I will end things for today. So, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any other creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me in the social media of your choice, and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.